when I got home, I played darts for like 3 hours.
You and Dave.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I won 3 games, he won 2. Yeah, 2-2 was my checkout, which is not great.
2-2. Adam, you require 4.
I haven't played in so long. Do you want to knock the house lights on?
Yes, I will.
You get loads in that, I'd say.
I watched loads of football though, so I'm fairly...
I feel like I watched the majority of it too.
Oh, we have to talk about AC Milan as well. Or
yeah, what was all that?
Saudi Arabia.
I've seen that, yeah.
Right, we're good to go.
It looked good, actually, to be fair.
It looked good, but the atmosphere looked shy.
As it tends to do.
I seen a comment, it was like, yeah...
Did you watch the highlights of it?
I watched the highlights, yeah.
Yeah, they were quite cool, weren't they?
The first comment was like, imagine having a Milan derby in Saudi Arabia when you could have it in the San Siro. Like a crime.
It looked a good game, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
I looked at the highlights this morning.
It's a very natural start, Adam.
It is.
Yeah.
And we're live, and we're not live. But we're on the YouTube again this week, Kieran. Welcome to another edition of the Good Touch for a Big Man podcast. Is that whole start going to be in the start, like the overlap?
Yeah, it's like the overlap, only 10 times worse.
I was looking at the overlap the other day, and they had Martin O'Neill on. I don't know if you looked at it. It was actually
I didn't have time.
I'm not the biggest perpetrator of Martin O'Neill.
That's a strange choice of words.
Yeah, what do I feel like I've used that word wrong there?
Perpetrator, like he's a criminal or something.
Yeah, well he is the football. I'm not the biggest fan of Martin O'Neill. Is the point I'm making. And I watched it, and he was quite good with Roy Keane, Gary Neville, Jill Scott, and Ian Wright. And I find sometimes on that podcast that Jill Scott gets disrespected sometimes. And maybe obviously that's like she's the only female on the panel. But I thought Martin O'Neill like included her quite a lot. Like she'd make a point and he'd be like, "Oh, that's a really good point, Jill." Stuff like that. You gotta sneeze.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay.
I was about to say elephant. Usually that's same Martin O'Neill.
Martin O'Neill.
There you go, you're not gonna sneeze. But he included her quite a bit now. And I appreciate that. I think it's she's in the minority on the show, so I think it's nice that she's made like welcome at times. You know, I feel like sometimes she's ridiculed a bit. You know. Yeah,
I mean, I noticed that. I know what you're talking about, but I think it's just the nature of football fans being a 90% demographic. Yeah. That she's being ridiculed. It's not the case where she's doing anything wrong. That's the way I see it.
No,
she's fairly good at her job. Like.
She is, to be fair. There was one podcast on the overlap that they did ages ago, and it was just Roy Keane, Carragher, Neville, and Ian Wright, and they were just talking about Champions League memories, and it was really, really, that was one of my favourite ones. But yeah, I do like the overlap. In fairness, I'm not mad on Gary Neville. But I think he's made a bit of an empire there.
Like there's lots of big grudges everywhere, unfortunately. That's just how life works. But anyway.
Speaking of brothers, Kieran, how are you?
I'm okay, Adam.
Surely you knew that was coming.
I'm dying with a bit of a flu at the moment.
Yeah, I'm kind of raging I'm here, to be honest, now that I know this.
Well, I mean, I'm over the ends. I'm at the ends of it.
Okay.
So I shouldn't be contagious, but if I am, apologies in advance. We are in a very small, confined room here.
We are.
So this was a trap of sorts. Because I didn't tell you I was sick.
Yeah, you didn't actually. I'm surprised you didn't. Usually you do say these things.
But it's the nature of January. Blue Monday was yesterday.
Was it?
Our favourite day of the year.
Yeah, I didn't feel blue yesterday.
You didn't feel blue? You felt happy?
I felt quite good yesterday, actually. Yeah.
Well, that's a change.
No, it is. Because usually that is a day of year, regardless of you know, consciously, if you know what day it is, usually you do kind of feel a bit down.
Maybe they got it wrong. Maybe it's next Monday.
It has to be next Monday, surely. I didn't hear anything about it yesterday.
What did you get up to this week?
I've been off the last few days, so I've started taking up walking, Kieran, in my new year. My new year, new me. And obviously my shoulder's still kind of fucked, so I can't really lift heavy at the gym at the minute. So that's what I've been doing. So yeah, I nearly fell on the ice earlier a few times. It's a bit of a nightmare walking when it's icy.
Yeah, great. I was about to say great time of the year to take or great time of the
I know.
I don't even know what to call it. The
But-
last
but,
few weeks,
supposedly we've had a storm, like a big, massive, like red warning storm.
what just
It doesn't feel
entirely localized in Drumcondra? Or
no, like a kind of countrywide storm. I don't feel like there has been though, has there?
I don't. Well, not
Like
enough from
snow.
my
I
recollection.
haven't seen any snow.
I think it was in Limerick.
A cold
and
snow.
Cork. The snow. There was like a foot of snow. But in Dublin, I think we got localized where it was just raining.
Just rain, yeah. I know it is freezing. To be fair, I'm wearing shorts. You can't see on the camera when I put my leg.
It's one of them strange weather events though, where half the country gets snow, half of it gets rain. It's kind of shy. But
Like it nearly led to the game over in Liverpool being called off on Sunday,
which I think it should have been, and that would be an unpopular opinion, maybe. But I think it should have been called off.
I was at a game years ago. Liverpool were playing West Brom, and this was under Roy Hodgson, so I was probably better off missing the game. But my mum and dad used to bring me and Dave in December between our birthdays.
Yeah.
So I'm the 1st and he's the 9th. And this game was on the 8th, I think, of December 2010. And got called off for very similar reasons. The pitch was grand, everything was fine, but the surrounding area of Anfield wasn't. And to be fair, I think Liverpool probably themselves could have done with the game being called off on Sunday.
Yeah.
In terms of performance, but I suppose we'll get into that in a couple of moments.
I suppose we will jump into it. So to speak. We just
Jump
jump
for my love. Jump in.
What did you think of the game? What was your reading?
In what sense?
Like getting a point out of that game at home in Anfield. What was your reading of it? Like how do you
I think Liverpool did well to get a
digest
point.
it?
To be fair, I thought United were a much better team. I think I always find these things very funny. It's always like how the mighty have fallen, where it's like Liverpool at their worst all season. That it's fair to say that was their worst performance all season. Man United at their best, and the best they could do was get a draw. I find that to be funny. Do you know?
I mean, I don't really take that reading of it. Like, I wouldn't agree with that. Like,
In what sense?
Well, in all senses.
Go on, tell me.
Is
it not somewhat factually correct?
Yes, Liverpool played
bad.
I would say bad, but not as bad as you're letting on. United played good, but not as good as you're letting on. I think the weather, and this is why I said the game should have been called off.
I know what you're
I think it was a case of Liverpool had a level. They came into this game. Now, for whatever reason, it could have been the weather. Now I hate to bring this up, but there's a lot of South American Southern Hemisphere players that aren't used to snow, so that could have something to do with it.
Yeah, no,
maybe
globalized potentially.
But taken away from that fact, I think it was a case where the pitch was very skiddy. So you had a case where I think United played well, but also Liverpool were dragged further down to their level. That was my reading of it, because I feel like the skiddy pitch leveled the playing field.
Yeah.
From watching that game.
What do you think of, because I've seen in some quarters United fans saying we're back, and like I think there's a lot of United fans who have celebrated this draw more than they did the treble.
They looked a lot
in '98.
better.
They look good. They look good, to be fair. I
would also say that Bruno Fernandes, the likes of him, looked like he was putting in a lot more effort in this game.
Big time, yeah, 100%.
So, and he was terrific in the game, by the way.
I think
one of the best players on the pitch.
I really think United. I think Liverpool had probably the more clear chances to win the game. I know Maguire has a chance at the end, which has been kind of popularised as the big, game-winning chance. I think Xerxes was offside, so I think even if he scores, it's not being allowed.
I think he was on.
Xerxes?
Yeah.
No.
He was a yard on, I'd say.
He was a good, this is the defender, and I'm Xerxes. That's what it was.
That's not very offside of him.
Well, it is. I'm literally moved my body in front of you.
You bent your own.
Yeah. No, I think Xerxes would have been offside. I think Liverpool had in the second half, like Van Dijk has a chance where, like, it falls him in the 6-yard box.
Should have scored.
Like, oh man, put it away. He doesn't. I like if Liverpool had lost that, I'd have been very kind of disappointed. The fact we've drawn, I'm still kind of disappointed, and I think that alludes to kind of maybe the standard that Liverpool have been playing at this season, that you don't want to be drawn with a team like United. But United, to their detriment, or to be fair to them, excuse me, really, played their best game. And
I don't know. Like, I do think the likes of Trent, for example, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I know I put him in my team in the half season last week, and then I watched him in this game, and I was like, "Dude, he looks fucking brutal. He looked brutal in the game. He couldn't defend.
He looked majorly off it.
And Dallo was making light work of him on the list.
I think that's an interesting one because you have Konate coming in on the right hand side, back from injury. It's first game in I think 6 weeks, and he comes in, and I think circumstance is very funny. I think Trent was really bad in the game, to be fair, but I think Konate was quite weak as well. I don't think he had a great game.
But I don't think that's on Konate to cover Trent. I think
that's the position he plays.
But you can't make that excuse when Liverpool are conceding goals for the last 5 weeks when Konate's injured.
Yeah, but does that not allude to the importance of a fit Konate?
Well,
if he's out and Liverpool are conceding goals,
well, I would expect that Joe Gomez as well.
Nah,
who was in that Premier League winning defence with Liverpool, by the way, would be
5 years ago,
would be able to defend. That would be my
career. Gomez is a good deputy. Don't get me wrong, but I just think a fully fit Konate, and he's done it this season with Trent, where he's allowed Trent to play his game, and when Konate kind of isn't at it, I think it creates more space for the opposition, which it did. And there was a point in the game where the ball goes over the top, and Højlund...
You're blaming Konate for Trent's bad defending?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I think a fully fit Konate probably deals with the problems better than what he did. Because the Liverpool defence looked quite, out of sorts, out of shape at times as well. Robertson, at points was really, position wasn't great. But I think the redeeming factor of Trent is going forward and the positions he picks up in midfield. And when he's not doing that well, I think it probably has a knock-on effect for the rest of Liverpool's game because he was really poor in the game. Going forward, defensively, is he ever really that good? Probably not. And I just think United, exploited it. And Gary Neville made a point before the game of Trent being a point of threat. And I was looking at that, and I said to Dave and joke away, I was like, this is written for Trent to have a stinker now. It was just a throwaway comment. I didn't really believe it because I thought he would have had a good game because he's had a great season. But yeah, I was surprised at Konate's inclusion just because he hasn't played in a few weeks. I'm not blaming him in any way, shape or form, but I do think a fully fit Konate deals with the issues that were kind of put towards him better than a Konate return from injury.
How do you think Salah fared in the game?
I mean, as the game wore on, I think it's always very interesting in these games because the space between Dallo and Salah at the start of the game was almost non-existent. Dallo was on him any given point, but as the game went on, especially towards the end of the game, Dallo was dropping off, and that's just tiredness. That's fatigue in a game, and the weather probably would play a part in that as well. Obviously, the coldness, the cold snap, whatever, it would affect your I suppose fitness throughout the game. But I thought he had a reasonably good game. I don't think he was poor, if that's what you're trying to insinuate.
Well, I wasn't.
That's I'm just saying. If I don't know if that was what you're insinuating.
No, I thought he was all right. I didn't think he scored. Like, you're expecting a goal from Salah at this point.
Score.
He did score.
Yeah. He scored to make it 2-1.
Fuck. My head's gone. I can't even remember that goal.
Yeah, it was a penalty.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that explains why he scored, yeah. Oh, yeah, the dodgy penalty.
Do you think it was not a penalty? I think the handball ruling, man, has to be ripped up and done up again. Because there was one last night in the Wolves game that wasn't given. And then the Joelinton one against Spurs wasn't given either.
Oh, that was ridiculous. I think the proximity thing is absolutely ridiculous. Like, there's no written
Is
rule.
it though, really? I don't think that's the issue with it. I don't think it's
What's
clear.
your issue with it?
Like, the proximity point of this, right? If I'm here and you're 2 yards away from me and I kick the ball at your hand, like, it's very hard for your hand to just disappear. unless you have no hands. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous.
but is it a handball? Would you say that's a handball?
The one on the Ligt.
No. The one on Joelinton, for example.
Oh,
Because that was very close.
handball, yeah.
So this is my point. I think either you say everything's a handball, hits the hand, handball. Forget about accidental, all this monarchy, close proximity. Forget about it, or be more like clear about it. Because
Well, I think there's a vast difference between a player handball.
attempting to handle the ball.
No, handballing the ball. Let's call a spade a spade.
No, but do you mean
In-
like someone jumping on the line and throwing his hand at it? That's obviously a handball.
Yeah, of course.
Compared to a ball being kicked.
Well,
out of your
I was gonna say Joelinton, for example. What he did to stop a Spurs.
Do you think he did that on purpose though?
Regardless of whether he did it on purpose or not, he stopped the Spurs player getting the ball and assisted the goal. Did he not?
He did not assist. Well, he
He pre-assisted the goal. He made the pass to assist the goal. If that's not handball, and people are saying, "Oh, it didn't lead to a goal," it absolutely did.
lead to a goal. Yeah.
If that's not handball, I don't know what is. I think there's
What's
a
your
difference
issue with the Ligt one?
The Licks one, I think, is not a handball because he's not attacking. He's not the one making the goal. He's He's in a point where he's defending.
So, so hold on. Shut up. Your problem here is attacking and defending. So a defender can throw his hand at a ball, no bother. An attacker
No,
can.
he didn't throw his hand at the ball. He didn't throw.
He literally just goes like that. He
There's
puts his
no
hand up.
guarantees. My point is, there's no guarantees that one leads to a goal. For the Joelinton one, Joelinton literally handballs the ball, passes the ball off, and they score. That's a handball. That is a handball.
So what makes the Licks one not a handball?
The Licks one, there's no guarantees Liverpool are scoring on from that header.
But that defines whether it's a handball or not.
For me, yeah, it does.
Why?
Because the handball rule is subjective.
That's my issue with it.
But
it shouldn't be subjective.
Why shouldn't it be subjective?
Why should it be subjective? A handball to me, clearly, by what we're talking about, is different to a handball to you.
Why?
That's the problem with subjectivity. In a nutshell.
Adam, you like rock music. I like rap music. That's subjectivity. The referee likes handballs. The referee doesn't like handballs. That's subjectivity.
No. The subjectivity of the rule is
the
a referee's understanding of the rule. It's not whether he likes handball or not. It's his understanding of it. That's the issue with it.
So is that not him liking a handball or not?
No.
It's his understanding.
No, if you don't understand something, it doesn't mean you dislike it.
But there's always going to be an element of bias. That's a handball.
Come on, man. You forget about that now.
What do you mean you forget?
Forget about that. You can't bring it you can't. I brought this up to you with David Coote a while ago. You can't bring up any of this bias. If a referee's
No, I'm chatting about handball bias.
No, I know. In what way?
As in, if the ref thinks it's a handball, for example,
I think
that's the ref making his decision.
I think that's the issue. It shouldn't be subjective.
But it has to be subjective.
It doesn't have to be
It
subjective.
has to be subjective.
It
Refereeing
doesn't have to be subjective. It doesn't.
Refereeing subjective on the pitch. Well, a foul is a foul. It's not a foul. Handball's handball. Handball's not
But
handball.
this is my issue with it. It's not clear. It's not concise. Do you know what I mean? And if you're
But nothing is in that world. By the way, nothing is.
If you're bringing up subjectivity in this point of view, then that's bad for the game. Like, I think.
But that's what refereeing is.
But there was a point last night in the Forest game, Forest Wolves, and Ola Aina crosses the ball, and I think it's Nori's hands is out like that. Handballs it, and the referee goes, "Oh, it's corner kick." I was like,
but this has been my
how
problem.
in the name of God is that a fucking corner kick?
This has been my problem with VAR from the start. It's not the ref making a decision on the pitch. As in, it's not the ref being told, have a look at that and make your own decision. It's someone in a room telling the ref, oh, that's a penalty. Who's making that?
I think this season they're more lenient than that, though. I don't think it's as like that.
But I don't think they should be making it obvious for the ref, as in, oh, they think it's a penalty in the room. Let's go over and have a look. Oh, so it is a penalty.
I think it's there to support referee though as well.
If the ref went to the screen every time there was a questionable decision, I mean every time, for that Olaina one just the same.
To bring it back in, Kieran, you don't think it's a penalty on the Ligt?
I don't think it's a penalty because I think the ref made his decision. It's not a penalty.
But when something's as clear and obvious as it is, which is what VAR is there for.
It's not clear and obvious, though.
It is clear and obvious.
Why is it clear and obvious?
Because he handles the ball in the box.
No, that's not clear and obvious from
It's
the
very
perspective
clear
of
and
the
obvious.
referee.
Well, but obviously, but that's the point of VAR, though. It's clear and obvious to the viewer of the game. There was just 57,000 people in Anfield on Sunday, and including the referee.
So let me ask you a question.
56,999 people.
Let me ask you a
referee.
question. If the Joelinton one, do you think the Joelinton one's a handball?
Personally speaking, no, because it's
You don't think it's handball?
close proximity. His arm
So
is
the
beside
Ligt
his.
one isn't.
It's not though, because the Ligt has his arm like that. He has his arm up like.
That's close proximity.
He has his arm up, Kieran. That's not natural position.
You're making
Why is his arm like
you're
that?
making the call here that both of them are both of them
Joelinton's one.
they're the same offence, but they're not.
They're not the same
They're not
offence.
both handballs.
Joelinton's one is close proximity in a natural position, right? The
How's
Ligt's
it a
one-
natural position?
So hold on, what's a natural position for your arm right now? If you were standing up, what way would you have your arm?
My arms are crossed.
Tucked in, okay. If you're running up and down the length of pitch, do a lap there.
My natural run stats will be like that.
Well, everybody's heard about the
And Joelinton's down here.
Nah, man.
Running like
his
that, is
arm
he?
was not like that.
He's down there running
his
like
arm
that.
was not like that.
He's down there
Stop
running.
doing that, please.
That's what
This
he's
is going to
going
be played back to us so many times, you know that?
That's what
His
close
arm-
proximity is to you.
No, Kieran. His arm was not like that. His arm was down by his side, like that.
No.
I'm not standing up. His arm was down
Well,
by his
Adam,
side.
you're talking about a decision there.
The Ligt's hand was here, Kieran.
The refs made a decision there that Joelinton one wasn't a handball. The same decision was made for the Ligt that it wasn't a handball by the refs. So
But
in the VAR room, you have people saying Joelinton one's not a handball, but you have people saying that the one on the Ligt's a handball.
But the metrics in which you're working with here, right?
That is a
are
complete
completely
inconsistency.
skewed. It's not.
It is a complete inconsistency.
It's not inconsistency.
It is an inconsistency.
The metrics in which you're working with here, right? You say attacking, no. Defending, yes. He can handle the ball. That's essentially what you were saying.
No. I'm saying
You just said that about Joelinton.
that's part of the reason. But another reason is the ref, for me, has to make the decision.
Natural, unnatural position.
Yeah. Well,
You think the Ligt's arm was in a natural position?
I think both of them.
How is that a natural position?
Both of them.
How is that a natural position?
How is that a natural position?
Defending the goal. How is your arm being up here like
He's,
that?
he's in close proximity.
He's not. His
He's in
arm
close
is up like that. It's blatant. As clear as day penalty, I think, as you'll ever see.
I don't know. I think you have to get back to the point where the refs are on the field. Just like they made the decision for Joelinton. I'd be happy.
The referee was letting Joelinton's the Newcastle goal happen though. So what's your issue with that?
But that's my point. I'd be happy to let that Newcastle goal go if the one against the Ligt wasn't given. But the one against the Ligt was given. The one against the Ligt was given.
Yeah.
That there's no consistency there. It's the same offence. Both of them are in natural positions.
Nah, the Ligt isn't. The Ligt's completely
And
unnatural.
both of them are in close proximity.
The Ligt is completely unnatural. That's the reason why it was given
But
against him.
can you describe to me what a natural position is? If refereeing is so objective, what is a natural position?
Well, why is his arm up as high as it is when a cross is coming in for Liverpool?
Well,
Why
that's a subject opinion.
That's not a subjective opinion.
That is a subjective
That
opinion.
is not a subjective opinion.
It is.
How?
It is a subjective opinion because you're saying, oh, his arm should be this length to
His
be a
arm
natural
shouldn't
position.
be up in the fucking
That's
air
subjective.
tall. His arm shouldn't be in there at all, Kieran.
Again, subjective.
How is that subjective?
Because
if you're heading the ball, are you heading the ball like that?
But if you got
You're heading the ball like that.
if you got Rio Ferdinand, if you got Nemanja Vidic and John Terry in the room, they'll tell you that you have to put your hands up. To
Not like
head the
fucking that
ball.
they want. Maybe Terry will because he used to do it when he but you don't go like that to head a ball. You don't go. You do not put your arm like that to head a ball. I'm sorry, you don't.
I think it should be the referee who is making the decision. Always. These handball decisions for me shouldn't be in the VAR room.
To be fair,
They shouldn't be in the VAR room.
I don't really have an issue with Joelinton's penalty, handball, sorry, and the Ligt's handball. It's the one last night for Wolves that really, like, I looked at that and I was like, how?
Is that the one
Oh
where
my
his
God.
arm's here?
His arm is like out here, Kieran.
It's here. That's a natural
It's
position.
not a natural position.
According to the
It's not a
Joelinton
natural position.
rule book, that's the natural.
It's a natural position when it's in close proximity. Not when the ball's being hoofed in from
What's
the
close proximity?
About 3 or 4 yards, I'd say.
This is why refereeing is so stupid, and they have to bring it down.
So
they have to
stupid.
bring it down to the ground. It is. It's so brain dead.
But this is the issue I had, and you were saying, no, well, everything's subjective. It has to be clear and concise. And the decision here for the handballs
Everything is
is...
subjective.
But it shouldn't be, is the point I'm making. It shouldn't be subjective.
Adam, you're the referee on the pitch. You're the one calling the shots. You're the one making the decisions.
So
The
your
people in the
issue here is
VAR
with VAR.
I have an issue with VAR making handball calls. Yes, I do, 100%. Because the ref is the one seeing it. Now, obviously, because of the history and Thierry Henry and everything, you kind of have to have some form of technology. But VAR should only, for me, intervene if someone's literally doing a hand of God action.
That's what the Ligt did. That's the Ligt. That's what exactly what
That
the Ligt
wasn't
did.
a hand of God.
That's exactly what the Ligt did.
It wasn't. It wasn't someone punching
He's
the ball
still
out.
sliding as well when Gakpo turned in and scored. But yeah, you think the standard of the game was really poor?
I think in general the first half was dreadful to watch.
Go on.
I found myself being bored at it. And to be honest with you, I forget the game for the most part because it was so forgettable, the game itself.
No, that's such a bad shout, man. The game was really good.
I think the second half, to be fair, there was a few goals in it, so I have to give that credit. I think the
It had
game
drama, man. I had everything you'd want in a game like that. It did.
it had no drama till the second half.
So, but when exactly do you expect... How is the first half going to be dramatic in comparison to the second half?
Well, it just wasn't a great game of football. From start to finish, it wasn't.
United had chances. Liverpool had chances in the first half.
All right, name me a chance that they all had in the first half.
Højlund got through and goal, Alisson saved, and McAllister had a shot saved by Onana. Second half was as good as the Liverpool United game as you'll see in recent times.
The second half was better, I admit, but yeah, well, I don't really have an opinion. Like, I think the first half was shy, the second half was decent. That's the way I see it. Like, quality of game, don't really have an opinion. I think it's just, it reflects the game today.
I think you're being petulant here.
Petulant?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I think you're being petulant and hormonal.
Alright, I'm moving on. This is bollocks.
Oh, I'm being serious.
No,
I'm being
you're not being
serious.
serious.
You're just picking holes for no reason at all.
I'm not picking, I'm picking holes for a reason, not for
Why?
no.
Tell me a reason why.
Oh, Adam,
Even the beginning, I'm saying United played their best game, Liverpool played their worst game, and United are celebrating like a win. You have an issue with that. You're saying United didn't play that well, Liverpool didn't play that well.
I think that's truthful.
How?
Because the weather had a play. Oh, I've already answered these questions. I'm not fucking answering them again. Don't fucking try to gaslight me. Fuck's sake.
Oh god, we nearly had you. We nearly had you. Fucking hell.
Oh my god.
That was beautiful for a few moments. You're gonna look back at this and you're gonna see me like swearing as I'm asking these questions.
This is my worst. This is my worst podcast. You're catching me in a vulnerable state here.
Oh my god. You're gonna have to clip those pictures of you standing up and be like, "What? That's a natural position."
That was true though. That was true. I stand by every word.
Oh god, you're getting worse, man.
Name me something I was wrong about there in terms of the referees.
The vast majority, I would say.
Liverpool fans don't know what a bad
The
referee is.
subjectivity is an unbelievable show.
Yeah, because you've never experienced it in your life. You've only had objective decisions with watching
What
Liverpool. Oh, that's a penalty. That's a penalty for Liverpool.
It
Look
was
at
a penalty though. That was.
That's a handball.
It was a handball.
That's a handball.
It was a handball. I'm still waiting. There's no point here of which I'll give you a good one. So Robertson got sent off against Fulham a couple of months ago.
Was a sending off.
Right?
Yeah.
Why didn't
Last man.
who were Fulham playing the other day? Ipswich. Why didn't Leif Davis get sent off for the same thing?
Didn't watch it. Didn't watch the game.
You don't watch football, that's why.
Yeah, near to you.
I do. Do we talk about Arsenal dropping points?
I think they're brutal to watch. Arsenal.
They're so bad.
But like how you agree with that. They're so bad to watch.
But what I'll
United
say, well, Arsenal started the game with 3 centre halves and 4 defensive midfielders. That's hardly going to be good to watch. Do you know?
Yeah.
I am somewhat worried though, because I was looking at their fixtures and they're much more favourable in terms of the likes of Liverpool's away fixtures and the like.
I did see they're playing like 7 of the bottom.
Yeah, at
14
home,
or
all at
something.
home or something,
Yeah.
or all away. I think is it.
All the way, yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to bring this point up. I sneakily think Arsenal are could actually win the league.
They could win the league.
Yeah.
Predicted it from the start of the season.
Yeah. No.
But no. To be honest with you,
I would be surprised, just given how good Liverpool have been and the like. But I think that performance on Sunday, we didn't really talk about the performance. The performance on Liverpool on Sunday was a very fatigued one, I thought. And you were talking about the weather and such. It probably did have an effect. But I think Liverpool looked really, really tired. We've 8 games in
they
January.
just weren't as sharp.
Weren't as sharp. I think there's been a trend for Liverpool this season at times where they'll have periods in the game where they'll be on top and they'll just score 2 or 3 goals. When Liverpool are on top the weekend, they didn't. So that's kind of one of the issues with it. But I think Arsenal, they're without Saka, they're without Odegaard. Can they?
No.
Or firing Odegaard? Are they going to invest in January? Probably not. Is it Nottingham Forest's league? Are we going to see a shock from Forest? Are the wheels going to fall off there at some point?
Unless this is a case where this is the worst.
Because you think Chelsea aren't in it.
No. Unless this is the case where this is the worst Premier League title points total in years, I don't see a scenario where Arsenal win it. I don't see a scenario where Forest win it.
You think it's Liverpool's to lose?
I think it's Liverpool's to lose with maybe. I can actually see Forest competing.
Yeah, well, they're very close now.
If there's a case where Forest beat Liverpool at home
Next week.
next week is next Tuesday.
Next Wednesday. No, next Tuesday. Yeah.
Next Tuesday. If Forest beat Liverpool at home, you're talking about 3 points between them.
3 points, but Liverpool game in hand. The game in hand's a big one to have over.
Yeah, there is a case where Forest might have a stake in the title race. But I don't think Arsenal have the minerals in terms of Saka's injured.
I have a feeling Arsenal will buy, man.
Odegaard,
I have a feeling they'll get
don't think he's been great since coming back from injury. In terms of their left back, right back situation, not great either. I think Timber is suspended and Calafiori's in no great shakes for me. And Marino looks like a terrible recruitment.
No, Marino's been good. I'll fight you on that. I like Miguel Marino.
I don't think he's that great.
What do you think of the beard, girl?
What do you think? What do I think of your beard? I think it would make it into Arsenal's midfield.
Probably. I think they'll get Cunha or something like that. Isak, maybe.
I don't think they can invest with the current financial situation of football. But they've taken all the good things away from
I was about to say
the football,
there's an overlap
the transfers.
earlier
They
with
fucking taken
Scholes and
everything.
Carragher, where they have a financial expert on the podcast to talk about the financial situation in the Premier League, and I watched maybe 20 minutes of it, and a lot of the start of it is they're pricing fans out of the game, the American owners, etc., which is true, but at the same time it's the way the world is. It's the capitalist society we live in, isn't it?
Well, that's not to be taken seriously. Honestly, if UEFA genuinely wanted financial fair play, I don't know if they're spearheading it. I'm assuming they are.
I think this is a Premier League thing.
Well, if it's a Premier League thing, fair enough. But they let the clubs go over to America. They entertain the FIFA Club World Cup. They entertain, even like the likes of, I know this, you're saying spearheaded by England, Serie A, etc., going over to Saudi Arabia.
You were dying to talk
La
about
Liga going over to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I don't think that's good.
It doesn't fit their agenda.
I can't see that happening in the Premier League. I can't see them doing that. Have they done that already? No, I don't think they have.
Not yet. That's what I really wanted to say.
Maybe domestic cup competition could be over there in the semi-final. I think Arsenal invest. I think Forest were so good last night, by the way. I think there's 4 teams in the Premier League currently, 5 maybe 4, who are really good to watch. One is Liverpool, second is Forest, third is Brentford, but the fourth is Fulham. Been really impressed with Marco Silva this season. But Forest, man, bring it back to Nuno Espirito Santos. Spurs got rid of him. And now Spurs are stuck with Big Ange.
I think Spurs are good to watch as well, by the way.
I think they're desperate, man.
Well, they're not
absolutely
great
desperate.
in terms of like the quality of football. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
pure entertainment.
In entertainment, in terms of throwing football back to where its glory days were in entertainment, because most of the games you're watching, you're fucking falling asleep watching them. Spurs for me
Guardiola.
take the gold medal. Guardiola.
Round it.
Oh, Guardiola in football, yeah. Nobody talks about it though, especially on Sky Sports.
Yeah. No, I think Spurs are. It's like watching. I don't know how to describe this. Did you ever see the Red Bull kind of where they like make bikes out of like they make like a bike shaped like a teacup or something, and it's just you're just waiting for the bike to fall off and then it falls into the water. It's like what's the word for that? Car crash TV or something? Is that what it's called? It's like really bad television, but you can't take your eyes off. It's like watching Desperate Housewives. You know, it's like it's terrible, and you're like, this is shit. But it's entertaining. They're like, I don't want to turn it off. That's what Spurs are.
Yeah, exactly.
Spurs are Desperate Housewives.
Exactly, I'd agree with that actually.
That's my point. You know?
Yeah, they're bad.
But Forest last night, man, I was one player who I would have ridiculed when he was at Chelsea was Callum Hudson.
Oh, here we go. As soon as he doesn't play for Chelsea, he's great.
Come here, great player last night. Whew. The pace on him. He dusted Matt Doherty a few times, and they're like, do you know what? Like, I'm looking at Sancho. I'm looking at. I think Madueke had a bit of a purple patch. Not really so much now. Pedro Neto.
But
I think I would rather Callum Hudson-Odoi over these players, Kieran.
I think he needed to move from Chelsea, honestly, because I think if he stayed at Chelsea, he wouldn't get game time.
I think he would under the current circumstance. Chelsea.
Yeah, but for those 2 years, he was recovering from injury. I think it was good to get him out to Forest, to get him more games.
Yeah,
That's what's kind of setting up his good career there now.
yeah.
So if I was to go back, I wouldn't really.
Like even looking at, and I know Gary Vav will hate this. Anthony Elanga. Like he's reborn.
Well, what does that say about their manager?
Yeah, no fair.
What does that say about their manager? These players, these mediocre, dead ballers, have just revived
dead ballers
and turned into prime Pele, prime Maradonis. What's going on?
It's a really peculiar one because I feel like
And Nuno got sacked
Nuno
multiple
got sacked,
times.
You know, and I'm looking. He left Wolves, didn't he? He didn't get sacked from Wolves.
Got sacked from Saudi Arabia.
And from Spurs.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Hudson-Odoi and I'm like, I would have Hudson-Odoi over Neto, Madueke and Sancho. The
But
way he's
is
playing
that
right
just
now.
recency bias?
Oh, it is 100%.
I was
But
about to say,
in the long run, like, do you think these players are going to come good?
who?
The players I've just mentioned.
They've already. Are you talking about Chelsea players? They've already come and good. Look at this season.
Go on.
Well, Madueke has his best output since he joined.
Mm.
Neto never had a good output. I don't know what you're expecting from him.
Go on, Sancho.
Sancho never had a good goals to game ratio.
I think the point I'm making is, like, what is the ceiling for these players? Like, I'm looking at Hudson-Odoi last night and I'm going, he could sign for a top club. Just based on last night alone, I could see him playing for a top club. His pace, his power.
Yeah, but that's
his
based on
directness,
last
everything.
night alone.
Yeah, but
Against Wolves.
Against Wolves.
Against Matt Doherty.
Against Matt Doherty. But he was really good. And he's been really consistent this season. As has Elanga. So I'm kind of questioning, like, is it the management or is it, you know, these players getting a bit of confidence, a bit of freedom? Do you know?
I think it's the management.
Right, okay. What do you think of Fulham?
Fulham.
Because Fulham, I fancy Fulham to get in European spaces this year. They're 9th at the minute.
I think they're a flash in the pan, to be honest.
6 off Chelsea. Yeah, you hate Fulham, don't you?
Well, I think they're a good side, but like they don't really strike me as a team that are going to get European football. If that's what you're asking.
I think they do. I think they look really like Smith Rowe, Jimenez, Harry Wilson's come into his own. They look a really well-oiled machine.
Smith Rowe, not great. Jimenez is a quality striker.
The two of them in quality this season.
I agree with you.
You can't deny that.
I think your man Muniz off the bench, quality striker. Wilson's a good player, but Marco Silva only started playing him in the last few games.
One of Chelsea's signings of the summer, Anthony Robinson's been fucking unbelievable. One of Chelsea's signings of the summer was Adebayo. Fun.
Well, that was a free signing.
No, but still, you know.
He's been he's cast aside for an 18-year-old. So what does that say about him?
Who's coming in for him?
Josh Champong.
Fofana's injured again, isn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah. Did you see the Fulham team that got relegated under Scott Parker in 2020-2021?
Is it the same team?
No. It's a really good team. Areola, now West Ham. Ola Aina, obviously of Forest. Joachim Anderson, he's with Palace, isn't he? Tosin Adebayo. Anthony Robinson at left back. Midfield of Mario Lamina and Guisa, who's with Napoli, I think.
Jeez.
Loftus-Cheek, and then a front three of Bobby De Cordova, Reed, Mitrovic and Lookman. Without doubt, the best. Well, one of the best teams to ever.
If they had kept all of that team, they'd be a good side.
You think, yeah?
Yeah. They'd get into Europe.
I just find it. Like you were talking about, like maybe the Standard League not being great this year. I think there's really good sides in the league this season.
I do think it's a case where everyone is playing in the same way, and I touched on this a few weeks ago. Like,
yeah, and it is.
But like, it's not just me saying it. It is statistically proven that everyone is playing in the exact same way,
or similar ways.
Through the middle, not using the wings. Crowd in the midfield, pressing, counter pressing, passing out from the back badly.
Yeah, but that's only some cases though.
Every goal you see now comes from a mistake. There's no such thing as build up anymore. When you think about it.
Like, I mean, I would disagree.
How?
Like, the 4 goals scored on Sunday by Liverpool United, you can't really put down to mistakes.
But
like Martinez's goal.
The source of them is a mistake.
But you could say that for anything, man. I could give the ball away and you could put 20 passes together and score. And then you could go, oh, well, the reason why we scored is because he gave the ball away.
No, but I'm talking about a direct mistake passing out from the back.
None of the goals on Sunday was that fault for that, for example. And I think that was one of the higher quality games in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, I think it was. Because at one stage someone gave the ball away. And then that's how they got the ball
Kieran, that happens in every game of football.
It happens more often.
You cannot go through a game
there's
of
no
football
such thing as
without someone not giving the ball away.
No, but there's no
That's
such
a
thing
ridiculous
as
statement to make, man.
There's no such thing as the perfect Arsene Wenger, Jack Wilshere goal anymore. That's my point. 30 passes build up, bosh.
I would honestly disagree with that.
There's less and less passes in a build up now. Less and less passes.
So you think it's
there's
more
2 passes
direct
bang. Yeah.
I just think it's
statistically proven.
Ridiculous
you can't
statement.
argue this.
It's a ridiculous statement to say that the ball's given away now, and it never was. Like the ball in a game of football, how many times is the ball recovered? How many times is the ball intercepted? Like
I'll give you one. How many times is a ball recovered now as opposed to what it was 15, 20 years ago?
Probably a lot more now.
Yeah, it's so scrappy. So scrappy. So scrappy. That's not. I'm not complaining.
I think that's up because of the tempo of the game. There's more athleticism in the game now, I would argue.
No.
Than 10,
it's
15
the
years
style
ago.
Of play.
The style of play 10, 15 years ago was Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. That's what's coming to prominence now. That's kind of, is that the issue you're having?
Adam, it's not coming to prominence now. It's coming to breaking point now. We've reached breaking point in the game.
What's the result of this point breaking?
The game is so bad to watch. There's a lack of quality in football now. And I'm not just.
I think that's.
There is a lack of quality.
I think more so a lack of flair would be my would be my counterpoint.
Flair, quality, whatever you want to call it, alright? There's a lack of quality.
Kieran, you're probably looking at the best centre half to play in the Premier League at the minute.
Who?
Van Dijk.
Fuck off.
No, but you're
do you watch anyone else except for Liverpool?
No, I'm just saying. Yes, I do.
Saying.
You're
Sorry,
saying,
that made me angry.
You're saying there's a lack of quality. I think there's a lack of flair. I think
You're talking about...
that's the issue we're having, is there's no flair anymore. And you're going to bring up someone like fucking Alan St. Maxim, who was brutal. But he gave moments of quality. He gave moments of flair. I think that's your issue. That's what you're missing.
Yeah, well, if that's what it is, if it's not quality, it's flair. But if that's what it is, there's a lack of quality in the game now.
It's not a lack of quality.
It is a lack of quality.
I disagree.
Nobody can pick out a pass anymore.
That's just factually incorrect.
We haven't seen a player, i.e. Pirlo, i.e. Fabregas, i.e. Modric, in years.
Did you see Gakpo's goal on Sunday?
Adam, I can't fucking remember the game. It was terrible.
So it wasn't terrible.
It was terrible.
McAllister treads the ball through the eye of a needle, gets it to Gakpo. Gakpo sends the Ligt back to fucking Holland and slots it in the top corner.
Oh, so McAllister played
No. I'm just saying. You're talking about there's no players who can't pick a pass anymore. McAllister, for Liverpool, for example, McAllister has a very good eye for a pass. Szoboszlai, maybe not.
Adam,
Gravenberch is a great.
You're giving an example of the best team in the league.
But you're saying there's no quality. And I'm giving you the
lack of
highest quality team
in the league as a whole.
Kevin De Bruyne, Kieran. You're telling me he can't pick a pass?
He's dusty now. He's shy.
He's dusty. Man, stop using millennial terms like that. He's dusty. Skibbity. He's not. He's a beta. What do you mean, man? What do you mean?
You know what I mean. You know. Deep down, you know what I mean.
I don't.
Deep
I don't
down,
know what you mean. What's your moment of the weekend? Do you have one, you miserable bastard? I don't think you do. Fucking hell.
No, I don't. Actually, my moment of the weekend was the shocking refereeing decision for Joelinton.
Yeah.
That was handball.
My moment of the weekend is Crystal Palace's build to play before Mateta's goal.
Which was them dispossessing Palmer, giving it to Eze.
What's the issue with that, though? What's the issue with that? To your point, what's the issue with that? What's the issue with intercepting a player high up the pitch, a pass and then a pass and a goal? What is your problem with that?
Do you want scrippity scrappity shy when you're watching a game of football?
Scrappity shy.
Or do you want beautiful build up, great players, great skill, great goals? I know which one I want. I want great skill, great goals, beautiful build up. I want beautiful players.
I think you still get that now.
You don't.
Maybe to a lesser extent.
You're living in cloud cuckoo land.
No,
La La Land.
I'm not living in cloud cuckoo land.
You're living in La La Land.
Cities.
You're living in La La Land.
I think you still get it. Maybe to a lesser point, but you do still get it.
The ones that get it, get it. The ones that don't.
Don't walk to Duns. Run! Right, Kieran. Not so much a pack to get it out this week, thankfully. It starts off with you saying, I love Sergio Conceição. Do you want to explain why you love him?
I just love him.
This is because you watched the game last night.
I seen him smoking a cigar after he won the Super Copa.
Yeah, it's good energy, isn't it?
I think he's what the Serie A needs. Someone of that ilk. I feel like he could win Champions League at some stage. Not now, obviously.
I thought that was the point you were going to make.
In the next few years.
Delusional.
Listen, it's not the first time you've called me delusional this podcast.
It's not the first time you've been delusional this podcast. Senin says, and Gary also says, strangely enough, New Year's resolutions.
New Year's resolutions. Be more well.
Okay.
After my sickness.
It's only when you're sick you appreciate healthiness, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Healthy, I suppose.
Watch more football. Be more knowledgeable about football.
It's a bit fucking late, man. We're 4 years into this.
What are yours?
I don't really like sharing these things, girl.
All right.
No, the usual shite. I want to better myself as a human being.
Oh Jesus, so cliche.
I think last year.
Why can't we all remain the same? What's wrong with that?
I think last year I tried to, just the way we're built, we're people pleasers. I think this year I'm going to try and please myself a bit more. and do more for myself.
Whatever that means.
Well, not like that. Not like that, Kieran. You fucking crazy.
Is this new, by the way?
Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah, it's nice.
Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of it, really. I don't really buy into these things. I think it takes 6 weeks to build a habit. So I've been walking for the last 3 days, like going out on walks.
Who told you that?
I think it's Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Senan says favourite South American country.
Probably Brazil.
Right.
What about yourself?
Argentina, all day.
Argentina.
Yeah. Why Brazil?
Oh,
yeah.
No reason.
Never mind. Well, I get it now.
He's setting a trap. I'm not falling for
I
your
love
trap.
how angry you got there, and I love how the light bulb went off my head. I'm not going to say
I'm
why.
not saying the wrong answer.
Well, that's very good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Well done, son. Jeez, I like that. Brazil, though.
Next question.
Argentina or Colombia. I'm fascinated by
Venezuela.
I would love if we travelled to South America.
Let's go, Adam.
We actually, like you were saying this, going, no, let's do it. I actually genuinely will do it.
Vámonos.
Vamos. Obrigado. David Dunmuddy says, get Carpo on the podcast. Skibbity. No. We might put this on TikTok. Carpo, do you want to come on the podcast? Would you have Carpo on the podcast?
Listen, if he's more than welcome to
Peter
come on.
Carpenter. Go to Luigi's. He says, top 5 jerseys you own.
Al Ali, Nigeria.
Al Ali, Nigeria.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Herzegovina,
That
Yeah.
Opal jersey you got me, USA. And I really like the Thiago Silva Chelsea jersey, very iconic. But
I love how you
Samsung
just
as well.
rattled them off, man, so
Yeah.
quick. Fuck. My favourite one is the away jersey Shells wore in Derry. I didn't like it at the start, and then
They won the league.
no, I got it during the season. That obviously helps the lore of it. But there was a girl I worked with, and she's from Argentina, and she supported Boca Juniors. And she said to me, it's like a Boca Juniors jersey because it's navy and yellow. So that's why it's one of my favourite jerseys. Probably I have a Liverpool jersey from the year we won the Champions League in 18-19. Yeah, and Origi scored. I have Origi on the back of it. I'm not a fan of numbers on the back of jerseys.
Numbers?
Or names and numbers on the back of jerseys. I think it's a bit weird. But that's one I don't mind. I have a jersey match worn from, like, it was a squad member owned it from the year Shells went up in 2021. Obviously, it's like a medium. It's not going to fit me. What else? Did you see that Guinness jersey? The Guinness Art of Football jersey?
Yeah, I did.
I
Yeah.
have that. Well, I got that from, obviously, Guinness at Christmas. And
Little collab. I need to give away now for the pod listeners.
probably, I'll look into it, but probably not.
No. Well, that's great.
Um,
It's always great to be supported by, your love.
well, don't say that, girl. And lastly, one that I got, recency bias, Josh Allen's Buffalo Bills jersey. They've got for me for Christmas. They'd be my top
Don't
five.
believe in that fake sport, egg ball.
Dermot says top 3 Billy Joel songs.
Top 3 Billy Joel. Fuck. I'm struggling to name 3.
Vienna. You know Vienna, surely.
Is that a song?
Slow down, you're doing fine. You know
Actually,
that.
I don't think I like Billy Joel.
I asked you earlier, did you like Billy Joel?
Well, I don't have any strong feelings.
We didn't start the fire. We didn't start the fire.
Yeah, no, keep it. Like,
She's always a woman to me.
no.
Piano Man.
The Piano Man's good.
Sing us a song, you're
That's number 1, and then the rest.
Piano Man.
The rest.
Sing us a song
4, 5.
tonight.
What's your favorite Billy Joel?
We didn't start the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dermot says, and we have a few people saying thoughts on Trent.
Fuck off.
Dave Murray says as well. What's your thoughts on the situation, Karen?
I've already
Any
talked
coherence or?
about Trent. Is he asking that on the basis
I think
of
he's-
him going to Real Madrid?
Yeah, I think more the situation regarding Trent. And do you think, I
I think
suppose,
it'd be a terrible sign. For
a
Real
wider
Madrid.
issue, do you think it affected his performance on Sunday?
I don't think it does. I think the fact that there's all this publicity and drama going on about it, I think it's all the rules, media rules, get people talking about this situation. I think
Trying to force the public against him, maybe.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think he's already signed a contract.
I don't know about that now. I don't know about that. For what's worth, my 2 cents. Thanks for asking.
Well, I've just assumed you were going to say them anyway.
Yeah, well, no, you're right. My thoughts on it, on a wider perspective, I think he's gone, and I don't think, as a Liverpool fan, I could be wrong in saying this, you can't really have an issue with it. I don't think, because he it's not like we paid for him to come to the club. He brought up through the academy. You can't deny someone an opportunity to sign for Real Madrid. I don't believe. Now, what I will say is, if he's this kind of Liverpool fan that he's led to be believed, would you leave Liverpool given the stake they're in now, top of the league, Champions League, potentially for a few years on a slot, maybe continuing that? Would you leave? Absolutely not. But he's every right to leave if he likes, would be my opinion.
Well,
and I do think it affected his performance on Sunday.
The way I see it is, alright, Adam, and I think you'd agree with this. We've both been living at home in Dublin for I'm 24, you're 26 years of your life.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sound.
Sorry, I'm not supposed to say your age, but Trent's been living in Liverpool all his life for 27 years. Okay. He's probably at the brink of,
Don't say that.
I can't say that.
You cannot say that.
I'll leave that word out.
Yeah.
But that's meant in a dark, humorous way.
I get it, but also
he can't see the sun.
We're not making the.
He hasn't seen the sun in 27 years of his life.
We're not making the money he's making. You can't compare us to fucking Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm sorry, Adam. You can't compare him to us, man.
Money can't buy you love and happiness.
Oh, fucking
you know what I mean?
Gary says top 3 underrated players in the league.
Top 3 underrated players in the league. I mean, they're all overrated in my opinion. But
what league is he talking about? I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. What league is he talking about?
I would say Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Of course you would.
I'd say Callum Hudson-Odoi. What?
You were about to say Alanga though.
Callum Hudson-Odoi, Mateus Cunha, and Alexis McAllister.
I think two of them are overrated anyway.
Go on.
Cunha and McAllister.
Why is it?
Hudson's an alright player. But
McAllister and Cunha aren't.
Underrated players. I think your man Lacroix of Palace.
Caught a vibe.
That
guy is like.
He's a very decent defender in my opinion.
Eze on Saturday.
Underrated. Eze's underrated. Honestly,
Stretch.
Day is brilliant. And trying to think who else. Oh, Enjoy off Everton. Good player.
Illyman.
Enjoy, yeah.
Dermot says, what football player would be the best wrestler? I like this question.
Mateta.
Yeah, he's huge, isn't he? Yeah, fuck, that's a great answer. Boo, 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 boo. Mateta's in the room. There ain't no striker better than Jean-Philippe Mateta.
Football fans are weird, aren't they?
Oh, don't start.
Yeah.
What footballer would make the best wrestler? I think Mateta's actually genuinely a good show.
If you're talking about past players, Akinfenwa.
Akinfenwa, yeah, he was a large man. Socrates Kyriakos, do you remember him? Scored. Or Sebastian, well, no, we'll go Kyriakos. Samaras.
Jordi Samaras.
Why would he be a good wrestler?
Because he has the long hair and kind of
He's
aura
like
about
Edge.
him.
He's like Edge.
Yeah, a bit of aura.
On this day. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, fucking Fellaini.
Fellaini, no, he'd be a terrible
Fellaini, Giroud, Andy Carroll.
I would say Socrates Kyriakos or Jean-Philippe Mateta are my answers. They'd be a great tag team.
Shelby.
Gary says remove 3 pundits from Sky Sports.
Jamie Carragher,
Daniel Sturridge,
Gary Neville, Danny Sturridge, Roy Keane.
Yeah, Roy Keane's grand.
Remove the room.
I thought that post-match after Liverpool
Bring
game
Souness back.
was really bad. Yeah, I would actually. Yeah. I thought the post-match on Sunday was really bad. I thought they were going in circles, tripping over each other's opinions. I thought it was really bad. Tell
you what annoys me about Sky. They play an ad every bloody 5 minutes when they're doing the punditry. It's as if there's no substance to the punditry, which they'd be correct in saying that.
Yeah, and then they upload the whole punditry to YouTube. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
It's like 40 minutes. It's like condensed from over like an hour and a half.
Heated debate.
Yeah. Where does Rashford go from here? I would... There's no...
The shadow realm.
Do you know who might get him?
Who?
Arsenal.
Do you know what? It wouldn't be a bad sign for them.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad signing.
For depth. But having said that, he is a virus as well.
I think the best option for him, if he still wants to make the money he's making, probably move to Saudi Arabia. Because no club in Europe can finance him. I don't think.
He's part of the problem then.
Come here, Kieran. We're all part of the problem. I think. Gary says we'll first keep their run up. I believe so. Yeah, I think they will.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they'll be. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Liverpool next week, and maybe go on a week, a few weeks run. But I don't think they'll be there. I don't think they'll be top of the league come the end of the season. But I think they'll sustain it for the next while.
They'll drop off. I'd say they'll finish 6th, 7th.
It's great. Yes. It's a great opportunity for them, man. With the amount of games Liverpool and Arsenal have to play, it's a great opportunity for them. It really is.
Yeah.
And I kind of like Forest, so I wouldn't mind Forest being up there, do you know? Gary says, can we get a live reaction to Meslier mistakes video compilation? Have you seen the mistakes?
No.
I'm not really arsed getting it up, but
we won't watch it. I know.
Leeds were 3-1 up on Saturday against Hull away, and then the Leeds are falling apart again. David Murray says, who was worse at right back at the weekend, Trent or Doherty? I think that's as bad as I've seen Trent play.
Yeah. I'd still say Doherty.
Yeah. Adam Corney says, Liverpool fans giving out about Trent, bigger club, more money, trophies. Remove the emotion of it. He's going to win the league this season, so we'll have 2 Premier Leagues, 1 Champions League. He should be respected. If anything, the abuse he's getting makes him more likely to leave. Yeah, I would tend to agree.
Jesus. Sorry.
Would you not agree? Do you think Liverpool fans are right to be angry he's leaving?
I don't think. I think if a player wants to go, let him go.
Yeah. If he's not committed, that's my thing.
And also, I don't think they have a right to be angry because they're fans at the end of the day. They need to detach the emotion from it. So, like we've just done in the last hour. The
thing that gets me, right, is if a player's not committed, I don't care who he is, to the cause, doesn't want to be there, then let him go. Because if anything, he's taken away from the cause, do you know?
I noticed Adam says here remove the emotion. I agree with that. Yeah. And to be fair,
say that. You must not have been listening, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not a great listener, as you know, but I appreciate the sentiment of this spiel or whatever. But to be honest with you, Trent, no time for him. I think I think Liverpool would be better without him. That'd be my opinion. I think Bradley slotting in at right back. There's a lot of hype around Trent. He can spray a good ball 40 yards or whatever, something that the game is missing, I suppose. So he would be missing that sense. But in terms of a defender, it's what he is. He's a right back. He can't defend. That'd be my blunt opinion on
it. Ben Casey, shout out to his sister. What's his sister's name again? You said last week.
You don't know his sister's name?
I feel like I do.
Laura.
Laura. Yeah. Shout out to Laura. Is Arne in the Amorim Penitentiary?
Arne Slot?
Yeah. Well, how many other Arnes do you know?
Arnie Pie in the sky. We go live to Arnie Pie in the sky. That's he is.
Do you think?
Yeah, let Ben live.
Yeah, do you know what? Because we shout out Laura every week, for you, Ben, he is.
Can you say it? Arnie Slot is in the
Arnie Slot is in the Ruben Amorim Penitentiary.
There we go.
That's for Gary Val as well. I don't really care, to be honest. Shell's won the league, lads. It's bigger things. Gary sends a picture of himself in work.
Too late.
He says, thoughts on the commissioner's downfall. There'll be no chat of fan tracks. We said that a while ago. And I think it leaves us with one question from Gary. And he says,
who else?
Why haven't any big teams come in for Jordan Pickford? Oh, Kieran, you love yourself, Jordan Pickford.
What?
You love a bit of Jordan
Since
Pickford.
Since
when? Since long enough, I'm pretty sure. You sure you had him in your team of the season last week?
Yeah, well,
You've claimed he's the best goalie in the league.
Never
on
said
multiple
that.
Occasions.
Never
yes,
said
you have,
I said he's in the top 5 of all stats departments, which is true.
But Everton are also bottom of the league.
Which makes it even more
Is
impressive.
that a bad metric to go by?
Well, there's
If
a
he
metric
was-
of clean sheets
If
as
he was
well.
playing for a top club, would he be up on the top 5 stats, do you think?
I think so. I think he's a keeper.
So why hasn't a big club come in for him?
Well,
Unless you regard Everton as a big club.
why hasn't a big club come in for? I can think of Mbeumo. Why isn't
not yet.
Why is it? Well, not yet. Well,
Yeah.
who's to say that Jordan Pickford won't get a big club?
He's been knocking around for a long time.
Why hasn't a big club come in for João Pedro?
Again, he's young.
He's young.
He is young.
He's young.
Don't
Is
think-
Mbeumo young?
I think Mbeumo is quite young, yeah. 25, maybe 26. Again, depends what you regard as young.
Well, this is your fault. I'm not making the point of being young.
I don't think Jordan Pickford is a good goalkeeper. As good as what you
But
think
yeah,
he
he
is.
starts for England week in, week out.
And how successful have England been?
Well,
And they
not
also
that
don't
successful.
play week in, week out, but how successful have England been?
Turn of phrase, you bastard.
How successful have England been at international tournaments?
Well, I would say more successful than most nations when you think about it. They've
But-
got to 2 finals or something.
Did they win anything for that, though?
No.
No, well, there you go.
No.
Case in
But
point.
I would say Pickford's a decent keeper. And you're just salty because you broke Van Dijk's leg or whatever.
Well, Jordan Pickford's responsible for one of the best moments I've seen in football when he couldn't touch the crossbar and Enrique scored the last minute. I was at that game in Anfield, and I actually have a lot of time for Pickford as a result of this. I just don't think he's as good a goalkeeper as you think he is. And Gary agrees, and most coherent people agree.
So I'm incoherent with my
Oh,
opinion.
absolutely.
All right. All right.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't know your opinion that was better than mine.
I didn't say it was, I just said it's more coherent. Does coherence mean quality?
It means you're calling me my football opinions incompetent because you think yours, you think yours are superior, which by the way they're not because you think refereeing's objective. Refereeing's not objective.
What am I doing here, Carl? Ladies and gentlemen.
I've had enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. And yeah, that's this week's podcast. Thanks for joining us on the YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. Thanks for viewing our lovely faces today, Kieran. I hope you like my beard.
I like a bit of that. How's the podcast over?
And we'll leave it there. So, thank you for joining us, guys.